That looks like a little bit of water is being held in place. Wow, that's a swimming pool. Luckily I have a pump. We'll get to draining it. Look at how much water I kept out of the construction site. That's good. This poor tarp, $350 tarp, did not last. I don't know how, I mean, yeah, we'll see. Oh well, let's get to clean up. Okay, well, I may have wasted or used and trashed a $350 tarp, but I saved, I don't know how much the formwork is worth, but the pour itself is going to be about $5,000, so that is completely still pristine, so I'm pretty happy. I've got to figure out how to use this tarp, and maybe it's not for rain shelter while I'm not here. Although, I mean, like I just said, I just saved the formwork and the whole infrastructure for the next pour. So, and we're definitely in rainy season right now. It's gonna start pouring for days on end very soon. But I cannot have swimming pools forming every time I'm not here. So I've got to figure out something different. A pole in the center, of course, is the simplest idea. I could have set this up a lot better. You know, I'm just getting used to tarps for my camping, and so I probably could have done it a lot better. That being said, it's not big enough to cover the whole area, and had I had a big, like a pole tent type of structure, it would have shed a quarter of the water into the forms. So I got to do something different. Now, just for fun, has anybody got an estimate of how many gallons of water were in that? I will give you the answer below.
この上は一緒になってんだね。
そうしてください。
大体あれから測ろうか。
Okay, we've got Ono-san back on the site. If you haven't seen our previous videos with my helper, please have a look back. So what we're doing today is we're going to work on our anchor bolts, and as I go through the day, that'll become clear what exactly we're doing. Ono-san right now is stripping off the forms, and we've made marks where we have some holes. We have to drill some more holes for anchors in the concrete and then move forward.
これ下のやつ、こっちもか、そこもねえんだよな。
Okay, we've got our separators set. They're cut properly and set, but as you can see, they're not glued in yet. I'm hesitating to do that, but I think we're at the point now we have to do it. We need to give the glue or resin time to set anyway after we put it in. So I might not even be able to hang the forms on these today. So I might as well get about to gluing. Okay, now that we've got the sides of the pit done, we're going to epoxy the top rebar. And if it's not clear why, we're going to pour a new part of the wall up to this level. This essentially is part of the slab, except there's this big hole that makes up the pit area in the slab. So anyway, we got to have rebar running around it, and we're going to build up the forms on the outside and then another set of forms on the inside, and we'll have about a 300 mil wall here that extends up to about here, the same level as the slab. Just mixing up.
穴がいっぱいだな。
It is just past 6 in the morning. I noticed last night that there's going to be more heavy rain today. Hageshi ame, they say. So I want to tie down a couple of tarps, protect the where the slab is going to be poured as much as possible, and then go back home. And I don't think I'll crawl back into bed, but spend the day at the desk. Well, you may or may not realize this, but we're smack in the middle of rainy season now. And even though it is a gorgeous, gorgeous day, these days are few and far between. Probably every third or fourth day, till mid-July, it's going to be like this. But I've got a much smaller swimming pool than last time. I've got to empty it out and get the plastic rolled back before I can get started. Today's focus is twofold. I want to get the pit forms done, because everything else, all of the other forms are done now for the outside. They're not secured in place, but they're all done. I want to get the pit forms done to call that done, and then today's real focus is securing everything. You can't see it from the angles here, but this pit is askew. When I poured it, I didn't have it correctly oriented. Let's just say that. And so it's going to be askew inside the rectangle of this first floor. And I just think it's too difficult for me to reorient it with concrete. I think what I'll do is I'll square it up with the internal framing, the 2x4 framing that I ultimately use to frame out the inside of it, the shelving units, etc. And so probably in drone shots going forward, this is going to look like a box that's out of skew with this corner and with the entire rectangle. But that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, that took all morning, but definitely well worth it. I've got to now just screw the bottoms into the concrete, and I'll put some cross bracing at the top, and then the separators to hook into the outside forms. This is what I have to do in about 20 more spots. So I'm going to save you that tedium. These all have to be welded to the rebar. And then on the outside of the form, we'll have a form tie and the pipe to give it, to straighten it out. You can see the plywood is, curving, each panel, it curves in its own little way. But when we get the pipe on, it straightens it all out. Tiens. Is that a cool rock? Okay, we have some more of the pit corrective actions here. There's going to be, these separators are a little bit shorter than the separators right over here. So I'm having to put in, and therefore the distance between the two forms is no longer 300 mil, depending on where the separator is. So I'm putting in a separator and a pecan from each side, and once again I'll weld them together. That one, and finally this one. Oh shoot. Okay, we're pushing 6 o'clock. It's time to go home. I have got the pipe up almost everywhere, just on the far side, on the east side. Hold on. Let me turn off the music, just in case YouTube wants to penalize me. Okay, time to go. Yeah, Bee has been a trooper. She has just put up with it, found cool spots when it was hot, found dry spots when it was damp, waited patiently. So we gotta have a bath tonight, get the ticks off of her. Okay, back tomorrow.
From how you see other periods, because it's this huge challenge, right? How do you objectively look at the past when you've got all these cultural influences influencing things? Father of Alexander the Great, dynastic heir to the Argentines, who traced their lineage to Heracles, son of the Temenid family from Argos, creator of the first national state in Europe, the first general of the Greek imperial age, founder of Europe's first great land empire, and Greece's greatest general, was one of the preeminent statesmen of the ancient world. It was Philip who saved Macedonia from disintegration, military occupation, and eventual destruction by securing it against external enemies, and by bringing into existence Europe's first national territorial state.
We have another early morning mountain run. This time it's not 6 o'clock, it's just after 7. Weather report changed overnight. We were supposed to have drizzle all day. Now from 6 to 9 we've got downpour. So I'm going to cover things up as best I can. Okay, it's far from ideal. Oh, so much nicer in the tiny house. I don't have my coffee gear today. The forecast now says that after 9 o'clock it stops and it goes to between 0 and 1 millimeter per hour for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna go find some coffee and breakfast and come back when it's drizzling. Okay, doesn't look bad. Looks almost exactly as I left it, which is good. Okay, well, I went home at 7 o'clock and stayed there. It's 1 p.m. now and doesn't look bad. The weather is really rainy season weather, but it's not really pouring down, so I'm going to get some work done. There's 3 big tasks left, and the main one is the welding of all of the separators inside. And believe it or not, I'm going to go home tonight and Google, is it okay to stick weld in the rain? I don't know. I've seen people do underwater welding, so maybe it's not an issue, but I just want to check first and make sure.